The woman only took a sip of carbonated drink, but in the end, a tooth was lost. Suddenly she coughed again, and all her teeth were instantly lost. The bewildered woman was a little bewildered, but what was even more strange was that her arm was quickly peeling off, and then her finger slowly disappeared. The old handsome man on the side directly froze at his waist. Seeing that he was about to receive his meal, Qiwa quickly ran towards the toilet. The handsome Song Xiao saw this and wanted to keep it. He was so angry that Qiwa raised his hand and cried and locked the door. He then hurriedly rushed into the toilet and used his only 2 fingers to eat and lock the door. My god. At this moment, Qiwa's face was beginning to deform. Even her eyeballs were pulled down. Does it look like the emoticon pack in your phone? Suddenly he emptied the countertop. He quickly took out the blue Coke from his bag, cried and ate it, and chewed it up. Then his eyeballs slowly returned to their original flavor, but his skin was still dissipating rapidly. As a result, it took 1 second. Suddenly, a large number of FBs pointed their guns at her, but Qiwa didn't panic at all. With such a gentle wave of her hand, other than Brother Chang, the others fainted. Brother Chang was instantly scared to the waist of his trousers. As Qiwa pressed her step by step, the little pistol was also trembling in fear, and bullets were pulled all over the floor. However, what was going on with all this? People just delivered a takeaway, and as a result, they rushed out a few 10 marks. The big man forcibly drove her away. When she woke up again, she found an extra wound in her abdomen. Before she could react, she was taken into a small dark room again. What was even more speechless was that a little Kara actually had a lust for her, and when she was angry, she yelled at her head, 96226. Little Kara calmly licked her fingers, then went up to cry and eat, and then punched him again. At this time, Qiwa's expression seemed 10% painful. It turned out that the mysterious medicine in her abdomen had leaked a large amount of blue powder, which frantically poured into her body. Qiwa's eyeballs instantly turned blue, and then her body began to lose control. It floated out of thin air. This was how the brain was developed to 20%. So what was the concept of 20%? Generally, the animal brain we know is only developed by 5%, while the human brain is only developed by 10%. With 10%, we have achieved the present achievements, and you can imagine how horrible 20% is. But with a burst of pumping, Qiwa sat calmly in a chair. At this moment, she seemed to be a different person. At this moment, another little Kara, Qiwa of the conspiracy department, saw the third expression pack in your mobile phone, and then slowly opened her legs. Little Tara walked towards her with a trivial face, and the result was 1 second. This 1 gram of Qiwa seemed to be possessed by the god of war. It took less than 3 seconds to kill all the guards. Even if he found his heavy burden, he didn't change his face and buckled the bullet out. Then, Qiwa came to the hospital. Just a glance, but the Chinese on the card was directly translated into English. Then he actually broke into the operating room, looked at the patient's brain shot map, roared, and took a shot, and killed the disease in his hand. Then Qiwa ordered the doctor to take out the medicine in his body. It was only half a pack left. It turned out that this medicine could develop the brain to 100%, although Qiwa had taken it out, but she knew that it was about to end. So, Qiwa found the gangster's base. At this time, the black boss was still listening to the music and applying a cucumber mask. He didn't know the danger. He had quietly approached Qiwa without saying anything. The severe pain made Sang Biao wake up instantly, and then the widowed sister pressed her brain with both hands to read her memory, because she needed to find the remaining 3 packs of blue medicines to maintain the stability of her body. After learning the exact location, she immediately set off for the airport. At this time, Qihua's brain had developed to 30%, and she completely bid farewell to washing cocoons and blowing hairstyles, which could be changed at will. Then she called the FBI, and the boss informed the situation.
Paradolio, get off your desk, sit in your chair, pick up your right hand to the afternoon, and write down everything I'll say. On the table, there was a red cake.
He could actually see his every step, which made Brother Chang have to believe Qihua's words, and then 3 men's films appeared out of thin air on the computer. According to the clues, the FBI immediately successfully caught him on fire at the airport. At the same time, after the morning Biao learned the news, he immediately sent his younger brother to kill all the FB guards. When Qihua arrived, the war was on the verge. This woman's brain was developed to 60%, and only one look was needed to distort the space and form an invisible barrier. Old Six was dumbfounded and immediately ordered his subordinates to kill him. 1 second. At such a strange phenomenon, little Kara gathered together and prepared to start the promotion pulse. But before they touched Qihua's hair, they flew up out of thin air. With a gentle wave of their hand, little Kara directly smashed through the reinforced concrete. Then Qihua slowly walked to Old Six and calmly took the box. Old Six was angry, but he couldn't move at all. Finally, he led Brother Chiang to find a brain expert because he knew his time. However, the meaning of life was transmission, so he wanted to share the knowledge he had mastered. As Qihua changed the shape of his palm and told several experts that what we saw was the state of cell reorganization. Moreover, 1 + 1 was not equal to 2. This was just a way to define it. When the speed increased to the extreme, then the car would disappear. Therefore, the only measurement law in the world is time. The experts listened to it, but they didn't understand it. Suddenly, a gunshot came from outside the door. It turned out to be a superscript. He rushed in with his subordinates. Seeing this, Qihua hurriedly asked the expert to inject all the drugs into his body. He wanted to forcibly develop his brain before he disappeared. As a large amount of drugs were inhaled into his body, Qihua directly spewed out Ultraman photography. At this time, his brain was already developed to 70%, and it gradually slipped black and slipped like venom. Everyone came to a white space. At this time, a supercomputer was born out of thin air. At this time, Qihua's brain was developed to 91%. Then, it came to the bustling Times Square. With a light wave of his hands, time stopped instantly. Then, it was like a movie. The human civilization changed rapidly in his eyes, and it didn't take long for him to return to the primitive tribe. Then, with a wave of his hand, he came to the age of dinosaurs, and even saw the human Zuoshan. With the exit of the cross-century, Kuihua once again traveled through the long river of time and space, predicting the scene of the destruction of the Earth. At this time, his brain had reached 99% development. At the same time, Shangsheng had already killed him, but just as he was about to kill him, the cells in Honoka's body instantly fused together. As his brain developed to 100%, Kuihua directly disappeared from thin air. In the end, he was stopped by Brother Chang, who rushed over, and he drank hatred on the spot. Just when Brother Chang was full of puzzlement, where was Kuihua? Suddenly he received a text message on his mobile phone, which said, "I am everywhere." It seems that he has become one with the world. So the question is, how much has your brain been developed?